Really?
Really. I'm gonna refresh the page again. Oh shite, I didn't refresh the page. I completely got out of your
Yeah, we're live. It looks live. It's
channel.
live now. It's live. I'm on YouTube.
Now it's live, okay.
Yeah.
So I can share it. So what are we doing today?
Hey, Tammy. What's going on, Tammy?
it seems we have a statement, right? So
We have a statement. We're going to read. Ricardo has decided to write a statement instead of us completely winging everything. But we
just
touched
to
on.
keep it under control.
Keep it under control. We touched on yesterday. Guys, I try to stay away from like Twitter engagement that's of negative sort or anything. But I had an impulse yesterday when I saw a post by Dr. Lee Clare, head excavator of Göbekli Tepe, claiming that he was speaking for a dead man, Klaus Schmidt, in regards to living current independent researcher Andrew Collins. Well, I decided to insert myself in there and ask for evidence. If you're going to use a dead man in an ad hominem attack against another individual, I would like some evidence, please. For which I woke up to this morning and realized that they can't provide it. And we're going to demonstrate that here today. Is precisely what we're going to do. But first, we're going to give everybody a second. We're going to finish spreading this link. And I should turn that volume down.
Did you place it on Discord?
I did. I put it in the main hall and told them we were going live to talk about this stuff. And I'm going to place it here. Oh, come on. Sorry, guys, but we kind of just decided to do this. Okay, so the logical question is, why are we doing what we're doing? And I think that is best addressed probably with just going into the reading that Ricardo has prepared for us. We're at 3 minutes. Why don't we just hang out for about 2 minutes and
Sure.
see who pops up in the chat?
I must stress, since we are both individuals and both members of an institute, we are not here to attack anyone specifically or to try and denigrate. Is that an English word?
Denigrate, yeah.
Denigrate someone's image.
No.
It's more like when you see a kid mistreat or do something wrong, we're just grabbing the little bit of the ear, and this grabbing is universal. So it's for me, it's for Jason, it's for everybody. Because in the world today, words are no longer limited to a small circle of daily encounters. The responsibility has grown because we are now speaking to the world. And the greater the position of the person speaking, the more powerful, the more impact those words have.
Right.
So what Jason is going to read is a reflection upon these thoughts on responsibility, right? So following the words of the uncle of Peter Parker, with great power comes great responsibility. Right? So might be corny in origin, but it's wise in its reflection. So
it is, and what we're bringing up is it's a pretty. It seems to me to be a very human and basic request. When you're going to put words in dead people's mouths, show me the evidence. But that's what we'll get into the reading. We'll finish just saying hello to everybody. I hope your morning's well. What day is it? Today Thursday? Today's Thursday. Thursday the 25th. It's the 25th of June. June is flying by. The world is falling apart. We went through a couple of, I think, 3 or 4 6-point or greater earthquakes last night and yesterday while we slept. There was a quite horrific one in Venezuela, I noticed there were two. That's right. There was a 4 flash and an actual.
No, no, it's a 7.1, and when they thought, oh, okay, we are out of it, then came a 7.5, and that's the one that brought everything down. And I've seen videos of brave people coming down the stairs, and when they're getting to the third, second, and first floor, there's barely walls standing, so the building can collapse in any moment, right? I can't imagine what is to be in such a situation.
No, no, and it's only going to continue. Looking at the rest of the weather headlines I did this morning, when I saw those earthquakes, they had flooding up in the Green Bay area of Wisconsin. There are massive tornadoes and storms daily ripping through the middle part of the country. Just getting to be a very active time, Earth weather-wise. Solar activity is kind of going nut bars.
Which begs the question, is Ben Davidson right? Or isn't he?
What is he? Well, I don't know. What does he what does he say?
You never heard of Ben Davidson? So Ben Davidson sits behind Suspicious Observers. So what started as a very good, very well researched study on the sun and its effects on the earth has now transitioned to full confidence in saying that because of the magnetic field is weakening, all these changes and more severe to come to culminating in a big event where the rotation of the earth itself will slow down and the water will backlash over all the lands with only a small pockets of areas that will not be affected. I find it curious because I went through all of what he's saying now in the 90s with an individual called Brent Miller. So Brent Miller gathered sufficient evidence to create a multidisciplinary team of known and recognized scientists to look at the data, and they were so concerned at that time that they moved to places where they lived. They sold their houses and went to the interior of the country. Of course, nothing happened, right? And Brent Miller eventually, although he made a good documentary about it, he wanted to go to Antarctica to get more data, but he needed $1 million, and when you start talking about this amount of money and so on, so it doesn't seem to be active now, and I thought it lasted 5 or 6 years. And then all this time after, Ben Davidson from, I don't think he even knows about Brent Miller. If he has, he never mentioned it. He was doing a very good show that I watched every morning, which is the news on the sun and earthquakes and earth energy values, and his research kept leading him into this path of we are about to go into a major cataclysm. He bought land, and he's creating a community to live in one of these secure areas, which that's fine by me. Who knows? Right?
No,
I wouldn't score no. I wouldn't score no. I would say, well, we never know. Can I help?
We'll probably bump into his ass one of these days. Hey, this is ours. Get over there. We're trying to survive too, damn it. All right, listen, I'm gonna y'all. We're about at our.
That's
10-minute
my
mark.
moose.
That's my moose. Cute moose in our Discord. Who is cute moose? Y'all, if you come join our Discord, you gotta show yourselves. Otherwise, I'm just gonna kick you. Okay, just FYI.
Exactly because of the people that we are going.
Because of what we're about to talk about
it's not
right
because
now.
of something particular toward the moose in this case, but
I'm sure you're a good person. But if you're not, and we can't verify, then we'll just kick you out until you decide to write to one of us.
we don't
right
make
back.
distinctions between antlers. They're all
Not at
equal.
all. Male, female, moose, Mises, big, little. We don't care. We love y'all. You just got to be real.
Let's see what's in the chat. Well, yeah, maybe it was updated, Catman Plan, to 7.2. I don't know. When I heard it, it was 7.1 and then 7.5. Yeah, you had the 5.6 on Northern California too, and you had the Japan ones, and I think there's another one place. So it's highly unusual for above 5 earthquakes all at the same time,
Okay,
or
I
more or
am
less at the same
hydrated.
time. So
I'm interrupting Ricardo. No, we didn't, Tammy, and we're just going to kick them in a minute if we don't. As soon as we get done with today's Live at 5 reporting from the front lines of archaeology versus mainstream and does truth matter?
did we figure who Moose is? Do you remember
Tammy,
the moose? I don't remember what movie it is,
I
but
was trying to.
the two
Which
moose
one?
that are constantly fighting with one another, and like, I spy something beginning with a T. Tree. Oh, damn it. I spy.
No, I don't.
You never seen that?
uh,
I can't remember what cartoon that is. It's an animated movie
Ricardo is
with
a
the
source
two
of
mooses
comic
that are
gold.
the what you call the ones that must be funny
I don't know.
on a movie. The type of character, it's not a
The
scapegoat. It's the comic relief.
comic relief.
So
Okay.
they both are the ridiculous of the movie. So
Ah,
I can't remember what movie that is.
Ricardo is full of the comedy, y'all. Even though he makes the perfect straight man, he
Is it
really
is
it
it's
keeps me
not
laughing.
Brave? I'm not sure if it is Brave or is no. It's Brother Bear. Let me know in the comments if you know, but I think it's Brother Bear.
Brother Bear.
You never seen Brother Bear?
I have when my
Yeah.
kids were little. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I think we've got three things we want to do here, guys. We're going to read a statement. Then I think we're going to look at this X post and the claims that were made that I was involved in. And then we're going to look at the evidence, which was not provided to me by any of the parties involved, which Ricardo himself in his excellent research work dug out for us. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to start with a reading by Ricardo here. This reading is called Old Habits. There is an old habit of humanity that seems remarkably resistant to the passage of time. Whenever a difficult question arises, we often find it easier to discuss the questioner than the question. It is an understandable impulse. After all, examining evidence requires effort. Examining a person requires only opinion. Yet history has never been particularly kind to this habit. The philosophers of Athens were questioned. The astronomers were questioned. The explorers were questioned. The archaeologists were questioned. Indeed, one might be tempted to conclude that being questioned is one of the few experiences shared by nearly everyone who has ever attempted to advance human knowledge. And perhaps that is as it should be. For if an idea cannot withstand scrutiny, it deserves to fall. But if scrutiny itself becomes unwelcome, we find ourselves in rather more dangerous territory. What interests us here is not whether one agrees with this or that researcher, this or that interpretation, because reasonable people may disagree. They always have. What interests us is a far older principle. How do we know what we claim to know? Rush not, for this is a deceptively simple question, a profoundly inconvenient one. And yet it remains the foundation upon which every serious discipline rests. When we speak of the living, evidence matters. When we speak of the dead, evidence matters even more. The living can object, the dead cannot. The living can clarify, the dead cannot. The living can defend their reputation. The dead must rely entirely upon the integrity of those who speak in their name. That is a responsibility not to be taken lightly. To attribute motives, regrets, private judgments, or personal decisions to a man no longer able to confirm them is not impossible, of course. Such things may indeed be true. But truth has always suffered from one peculiar weakness: it insists on being demonstrated. One would imagine that archaeologists of all people might appreciate this. After all, theirs is a profession founded upon the distinction between what can be shown and what can merely be suggested. A shard of pottery is evidence. A story about the pottery is interpretation. Wisdom lies in knowing the difference. Indeed, civilization itself may depend upon knowing the difference. For once interpretation is granted in the authority of evidence, every certainty becomes negotiable and every record becomes vulnerable. And so, I find myself returning to a principle that is neither revolutionary nor controversial, merely ancient. If a claim is made, let it be supported. If evidence exists, let it be shown. If documentation survives, let it be examined. And if no such evidence exists, then perhaps humility is the wiser companion. For there is no dishonor in saying, I do not know. History, after all, is filled with people who were certain, far fewer who were correct. In the end, this is not about archaeology. It is not about personalities. It is not about who wins an argument. Arguments come and go. What endures is the standard by which they are judged. And as we stand, we confess to still prefer the old standard. Evidence before assertion. Inquiry before condemnation. Questions before conclusions. It has served humanity reasonably well so far, and until a better method presents itself, we suspect it remains our safest guide. For today, the subject may be another man. Tomorrow, it may be you, or any one of us. And when that day comes, I suspect we will all hope that evidence is still valued more highly than opinion. Because reputations are fragile things. A lifetime may be required to build one. A single sentence may be enough to alter it. That is why truth deserves patience. That is why evidence deserves respect. And that is why those who seek knowledge, whether they call themselves archaeologists, historians, researchers, or simply curious human beings, must hold themselves to a standard higher than certainty. They must hold themselves to a standard of proof. For certainty belongs to belief, proof belongs to knowledge, but wisdom belongs to neither. Wisdom resides in discernment, the ability to distinguish what is known from what is merely assumed, what is evidenced from what is imagined, and what ought to be spoken from what is better left unsaid. Folly resides elsewhere. It dwells in the shadowed corners of pride and insecurity, where conclusions arrive before inquiry, where accusation precedes understanding, and where the turmoil within is projected upon the world without. And the distinction becomes all the more important when counsel proceeds from positions of authority. For power has a peculiar property. It does not merely amplify the voice, it amplifies the consequences of the voice. The private speculation of an ordinary individual may pass unnoticed. The speculation of an authority may harden into accepted fact. And for that reason, influence must always be accompanied by restraint, authority by humility, and certainty by evidence. For the higher one's station, the greater one's obligation to distinguish carefully between what is known, what is believed, and what is merely suspected. And the two have never shared the same dwelling. The stones of the ancient world have survived for thousands of years because they were built upon solid foundation. Ideas are no different. If they are true, they need no shelter. If they are false, they deserve no protection. And if we can no longer distinguish between evidence and assertion, then the greatest mystery facing us is no longer hidden beneath the soil of Göbekli Tepe. It is hidden within ourselves. For the question is no longer what our ancestors believed. The question becomes whether we still possess the courage to follow the evidence wherever it leads, even when it leads somewhere unexpected, especially then. For truth has never demanded our comfort, only our honesty. And in the end, it is not our conclusions that define us, but our willingness to revise them when confronted by better evidence. For that is the mark of knowledge, and perhaps, if we are fortunate, the beginning of wisdom. What cannot be denied and should never be forgotten is that our future requires the truth of our past, and the present is the best time to do so. Thank you, Ricardo.
Thank you, Jason. It's beautiful. Thank you.
Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to look at what is all this kerfuffle about. So, I see a post on X yesterday, my friends, and it bugged me for many reasons. Most of these reasons I usually ignore when it comes to public discourse, and I don't say anything. Well, this one bugged me for several reasons, and let's start sharing now. If I can remember how to do that.
For reasons of impartiality, I must say that I don't even know the person that is being accused. The name is unknown to me, so I don't know anything about him. Right?
Yeah, see,
and the only thing I know about the other subject is that he knows the word abhorrent, because he never posted anything to teach anything.
No, they don't. You know, he decided, Lee Clare first got my attention because he decided to insult the ladies at Universe Unveiled, our dear friends and family. So that got my attention, right? Now I'm going to go, well, let me watch this guy on X.
This is not so much a critique, it is an encouragement. Because there's always time to change. There's always time to change.
There is. So, and you guys in the audience, feel free to tell me if, you know, anywhere in here you think I was off the mark, because I'm always open to that. In fact, these guys will tell you precisely that the first place I go when interacting in public is right to not only my friends, but the board members at the Institute of Natural Philosophy and go, hey, look at this. I think there's a story here. I should probably keep going. All right. So we have Dr. Lee Clare. Now, we should, maybe for all fairness, we should go back to yesterday's post that he did. Let me see if I can get to his profile. Okay, and let's go to right here. Okay, so he started tackling or taking on Andrew Collins, author of Karen Tepe, Civilization of the Anunnaki and the Cosmic Origins of the Serpent of Eden. I don't know this work. I've heard other people cite it. I've seen, you know, ideas of his, you know, used by other people. So that's the first thing to say, guys, is that I don't have a dog in this fight personally, other than the fact that somebody's got to stick up for the dead. And, you know, hey, I'm your Huckleberry, right? Are you aware? Oh, no, that's the one I started talking on. Let's go back to yesterday. Okay. So he decides to share a post of Andrew Collins making fun of his work, right? Ha ha, try harder, pseudo, right? Okay, Andrew Collins, then, who, you know, I verified, he came back to him with a quite reasonable and honest response, right? Saying, hey, man, I didn't even know this book thing was, you know, you're sharing, and I don't know what you're even talking about. Why are you doing this? So it shows you it comes out of nowhere, right? Now, let's get to the post that bugged me. See, the next day, guys, he takes it a step further. And he says, are you aware that Klaus Schmidt had you officially blacklisted from the site? He's talking about, I guess, Göbekli Tepe here. And not only you, might I add. He also very much regretted even talking to you. Can you explain that? Okay. Now, so you guys see what caught my eye. Now, I jumped in and responded, perhaps hastily, but in earnest. Can you explain what the fuck you're doing bringing a dead man into a conversation? Okay. His response. It's called history of research, quote unquote, and it's very valuable for many reasons.
Oh,
I
it's called
reply,
false gossip.
it's gossip. Yeah, this shit wouldn't even be allowed in court. It's fucking hearsay. You know, it's ridiculous. Okay, so I don't say that. I reply with, can you please provide me the source for the quotes you attributed to the dead gentleman? So one of his fellows, and I get jumped by all of them here, one of his fellows jumps in. Lee didn't quote anything. This is a bizarre demand. Well, he said that Klaus Schmidt regretted ever talking with Andrew, claiming that somebody said something is the same thing as quoting them. And if they are no longer here to speak for themselves, then you damn sure better show me the proof. What is so bizarre about that, Joe?
You know what that reminds me? It reminds me of the writer of De Soto saying, the Christians were so good to them, we don't understand why they're being so aggressive to us.
We don't understand. Let's come in. See, you've got more people to jump on me. They highlight, they call us these people. And so I say, what do you mean by these people? Another one jumps
we
in.
have been promoted to people now? That's
I know,
great.
right? What you mean these people? What you mean you people? Tropic Thunder.
Is that a racial comment?
Right? Gonna call me racist next. Okay, so you guys see how I respond to all this nonsense. It's high school shit. Pseudoscience, hacks and wax, reporting for duty, sir. Out here proudly spreading missing information. And I share one of my little quotes. We, the willing, led by the unknowing, are doing the impossible for the ungrateful. We have done so much for so long with so little. We are now qualified to do anything with nothing. One of them took the time to like totally rewrite that shit, which I told him I respect the time it took. Okay, now Reed Farmer decides to enter the conversation, and Reed, instead of, again, anybody telling me where's the evidence the guy said this, he comes in with, hard to talk about archaeology without talking about dead people. Well, no shit, Sherlock. But if you're going to use it in a personal attack,
I'm sorry, but this gentleman should be congratulated. Because I rarely seen such strong grasp of the obvious.
I know. It's like, you know, thanks, Captain Obvious, but let's get back to my damn question. If you're going to use it in a personal attack, let's see the source. The dead man is not here to speak for himself or to approve of the manner in which his name has been employed. Which Reed decides to say, who attacked you? Now, at this point, not only does he seem to be captain of the obvious, but he also seems to miss what's right in front of his nose because he's not reading the fucking post I'm talking about. That's kind of, you know, revealing.
Because that includes reading.
It does. It does. They knee-jerk, bro. It's so obvious. They don't even know who you are. They don't look at you, and they don't read the thing you're talking about. So I had to tell him, no one attacked me. This isn't about me. Lee attacked Andrew and his work in this post. Captain Obvious reporting in again. So this really has nothing to do with you, not your books. Have you even visited these sites in Turkey? No, it has to do with the behavior of the poster and the example that is being set here. I have a problem with it. JT comes in, and JT, doesn't do what the others do, and I will continue to point him out for that. He doesn't attack me. He doesn't come in here with a haughty attitude, but he does have a problem with our buddy Dan and, the way he talks. So that always gets thrown in your face, when you come in here. People, they've been told to, like, go after these big debunkers or whatever, and they just knee-jerk to that. And it's like, first of all, that person was not even in this conversation, right? So what does that have to do with anything? So let's hone in on what JT... Right, so I reply, I kind of get on... Like, seriously, as a young archaeologist, this is the behavior you want your students to see when it comes to how you interact with independent researchers. And then I would like to share this. It's not like we're working in a vacuum here and we don't have to look far to see an independent researcher and an archaeologist getting along as decent human beings, at which point I share Graham Hancock's post regarding Ed Barnhart. Ed Barnhart and I don't see eye to eye on much when it comes to the deep past, but that's exactly why I value our conversations. He's a rigorous archaeologist, and even though we approach these mysteries from very different angles, he always engages with warmth and good humor. There. Now, see, that's another thing I was after here, is y'all want to attack independent researchers all the time, but look, right here is an example of how you behave as a human being. Titles don't matter. These two men are just friends because they're men.
There is one thing in this that has been bothering me for quite a while now. That is the phrase independent researcher. Okay. Let me tell you why it bothers me. Because it's not the researcher that is independent, it's the other researchers that are dependent. Which is completely different, right?
It is.
because one resides in the limitations of what they can do and say, and the other in the freedom of freeing expressing itself.
Amen.
So it's not an independent researcher, it's the other ones that are conditioned. We are just researchers.
We're just out here being people, man. Following our curiosity and trying to discover the truth of our own story, you know? And I thought that's what these people were doing, but know them by their fruits is something I operate by. I don't listen to what you tell me because it's pretty worthless, is what I've learned for the most part about human beings, and if you say it, I expect it of you, right? Because I hold myself to that standard. If I say it, you fucking bet it, right? Just that's it. Take it to the bank, because I respect my words first and foremost. Okay, so he comes at me, and then I finish properly with him about bringing Dan up to me. Dan is not the head archaeologist for Göbekli Tepe, is he? I do try to engage positively, JT, but something really bothers me personally about using quotes that cannot be verified from a man who recently passed in order to attack the life's work of another. He even used the word pseudo, which we all know is a deliberate insult. This is juvenile behavior from someone who is setting examples for future generations. And then Dan, this is for you. Dan's just some dude on the internet that everybody seems infatuated with, so he trolls them on purpose. JD comes back with, he doesn't agree, he doesn't like Dan. He thinks he goes too far. So all well and good, but of course I have to tell him, I'm always honest. You'll see, y'all. Kind of got a thing for the underdog too, in case you couldn't tell. So, Reed, back in the conversation. You really aren't involved in anything here. Don't know anything about the research, haven't visited these sites, don't imagine you ever met Claire or Schmidt, just appointed yourself the internet discussion police.
Is he describing himself?
I think so. I think he is. It's called mirroring. It's very, very well-known phenomenon. It is a free internet, is it not? So your problem is that I'm exercising my free speech when I see something that bothers me. Cool, got it. What is it you need from me, Reed, in order to consider me qualified for the discussion? This, another question that never gets answered. Wow, okay, so he comes back. I'm just observing this utterly bizarre and strange behavior of yours. No wonder you guys never accomplish anything.
Is this the same guy that's used the same word before, or is he a new one?
I got lots of accomplishments, bro.
Because they are very obsessed with this word, bizarre.
I know, dude. This is like the third time they called me bizarre, right? It's like I'm just asking for some evidence,
There must be something they're reading.
Like, I'm serious. Like, I don't understand it. Like, this is why I want to go over this with everybody. You kind of, it's like when people gaslight you, like in real world. You're sitting there going, am I the crazy one for half a second? You're like, why does everybody think this shit is crazy? Because I know all I'm asking is for you to prove what you said to me, right? Wow, feeling rather salty and insulty this afternoon, aren't we, Reed? What is so bizarre about taking issue with a post and its tone and unethical use of a dead man's name to purposefully defame an independent researcher? I'm noticing the longer I engage here, the more the prideful and insulting behavior shows itself. So that's kind of what's kept me going, to be honest. There is one more we can wrap up since I'm showing you everything. JT came back and we responded this morning, because you guys can keep just double checking me here. Let me get back to my notifications. And they're still going. That's our current ones. What's up, Paul? See him all over the place. Yeah, Andrew is selling a book and reporting vague personal anecdotes about fleeting interactions with Lee's unnamed colleagues and predecessors. Both men relate firsthand knowledge. Hold Andrew to the same standard you would Dr. Claire. Actually, no. I haven't seen Andrew post any of that shit. And right now, we need evidence from Claire, because he's the one talking. Yeah, Lee didn't quote anything. This is a bizarre demand. We've covered that one. Here we go. I mean, seriously, y'all, it's been a whole day now. I just asked for proof of what the poster claims Klaus Schmidt said about Andrew. All y'all are giving me is how this is weird for me to ask, but nobody's giving me proof. You guys ask us to take you at your word professionally, but you give me the runaround when I ask you to back up your word.
Yeah, but this is not profession. This is personal.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is.
It has nothing to do with the site. It has to do with personal opinion.
Exactly. Exactly. So what we'll do now, and you guys can go to X and check out the rest of this thread. It really, I was quite shocked at how long it went on, and then I was quite shocked at how nobody had any evidence. They just had names and insults, right? It's like, aren't you guys, look, man, here's the thing. People like to say that character doesn't matter. You know what matters the fucking most in this world? Character. All right? If I can find on social media that you are a liar, that you will go back in time and change shit that got said and then present it as truth. If I learned that, then I have just learned that I can't take shit that comes out of your mouth at work for real. I have learned that you are willing to be dishonest and lie in the little things that don't even matter, y'all. So if you're willing to do that, how dare you come stand in front of me, put your chest out and say, I'm in charge of knowledge, you're stupid, right? Like, seriously, look at the shirt and fuck off with all that. We're sick of it. Now, let's get to the evidence as to what was said. You emailed that to me? I don't see that. Is that one in there? Do I need to go to the Discord to pull up the report? Ricardo, you there?
I'm here. Did you ask me something?
Yeah, the report, the Discord report. Did you send that to me email too?
Yeah, it's on the email.
There it is. Gotcha. Thank you, sir.
Mm.
Oh my gosh, and I forgot your emails make it black. How do I change this?
Oh, it is.
Yeah, your emails come where they're like hardly readable. Okay. But it's only one page. I got it. I can do this. I'm going to have to turn my screen though. So Ricardo's emails, guys, when he sends them to me for some reason, the screen is black and the writing is black. So it's like,
What?
okay. Yeah, I know. Look, I'll show it. I'm going to take a picture and send it to you. Look.
Wait, I was going to the email. Show me.
All right, I'm sending it to Discord. I'm sending you a picture.
Let me check that.
I can read it though. I can do it, man. We can make it work. I
It's
got you.
white on mine.
It's strange, isn't it? See, there's my. It's like gray on gray. The claim in the post. The ex-post by archaeologist Lee Clare states, in context with follow-ups, Klaus Schmidt, the German archaeologist who led excavations at Göbekli Tepe until his death in July 2014, had Andrew Collins officially blacklisted from the site. That's the first claim. Schmidt declared Collins persona non grata. This happened just before his death in 2014. Schmidt very much regretted talking to you because Collins misled him and broke the trust. Andrew Collins replied that he got along fine with Schmidt, who showed him around the site in 2012 and gave him free access for many days. What can be verified? Collins was thrown out of Göbekli Tepe and placed on a blacklist for Turkish archaeological sites. This is confirmed by Collins' own detailed accounts in 2019. In October 2018, but see, it wasn't Schmidt that did that. It was Lee.
Exactly.
It was Lee Clare. Schmidt didn't do this, y'all. In October 2018, during a multinational tour group visit, site manager, lead archaeologist Dr. Lee Clare confronted Collins. Clare allegedly screamed at him to leave, saying something to the effect of, quote, "We don't want your lies and pseudoscience here." Okay? So now Lee Clare yelled at Andrew, told him, "We don't want your lies and science here in public." And now he's claiming that it was because Klaus Schmidt did it. Security staff harassed and shadowed the group. Collins contacted Lee Clare in advance and was led to expect a civil interaction, comparing to how Schmidt would have behaved. After the incident, Collins learned he was then blacklisted, and it was circulated to archaeological sites in Turkey. He tried unsuccessfully to get details via the British Foreign Office. He has since publicly described himself as persona non grata. This is corroborated by contemporary reports, e.g. Jason Colavito's, he's another guy I was going with yesterday, blog in 2019 summarizing the same incident with Claire and Collins. Turkish edition of an earlier book also reportedly affected around the same time amid shifting Turkish policies on site interpretation and media portrayals. Colin had visited Göbekli Tepe earlier, first in 2004 and in 2012, and his books previously sold in Turkish museum shops. So as far as we can tell so far, Klaus Schmidt liked him, had him there twice, gave him tons of access, and his books were sold in the stores. Lee Clare comes in, direction shifts, Lee decides... Museums, everything shifts. Lee's an asshole to him in public, and now he's invoking the former archaeologist Schmidt to support his own childish and irresponsible behavior. And that's what's got me a little worked up. What cannot be verified? The specific the specific attribution to Klaus Schmidt acting in 2014 or earlier is not supported by any evidence and is contradicted by the timeline and by other facts. Timeline mismatch. The documented confrontation, ejection, and discovery of the blacklist occurred in 2018, 4 years after Schmidt's death. Collins' 2019 newsletter explicitly ties the events to Claire's management and contrasts it with Schmidt's era, when visitors were welcomed more openly. Positive or neutral interactions with Schmidt. Collins has referenced helpful interactions with Schmidt, including being shown around in 2012 and a personal communication as late as September 2014, in which Schmidt did not dismiss any of Collins's ideas out of hand. There are no reports from Collins, Schmidt, or third parties of any falling out, regret, or blacklisting initiated by Schmidt. Let's read that again. There are no reports from Collins, Schmidt, or third parties of any falling out, regret, or blacklist initiated by Schmidt. No corroborating evidence. Extensive searches turn up 0 independent sources, academic papers, Turkish archaeology records, statements from other excavators, or Schmidt's own writings and team mentioning Schmidt blacklisting Collins, declaring him persona non grata, or ever regretting contact. The claim appears only in Lee Clare's recent ex-post.
It must be true then.
It must be. It must be. Because a liar said it. Context of the ban. The 2018 incident and blacklist stem from mainstream archaeologists, especially Clare's, strong opposition to Collins' interpretations of the site as a shamanic, astronomical temple of the Watchers linked to biblical Eden times. Views widely labeled pseudoscience or alternative history by professionals. This aligns with broader tensions over how Göbekli Tepe is presented and Turkish cultural religious sensitivities, not a Schmidt-era decision. Lee Clare, as the current field director, is in a position to know site policies, but publicly available evidence does not support pinning the specific actions on the deceased Schmidt in 2014. It reads more like an attempt to lend historical authenticity to the current restrictive stance towards alternative researchers. I ought to drop this motherfucker right now.
Yeah, and I should add to the end of that if all of this is wrong, please
let us know. Please let us know. Please, I've been asking for proof, since you said this shit in public yesterday. Blacklist banned from the site, summary, verifiable. Okay, so the blacklist happened in 2018 under Clare's watch. Attribution to Klaus Schmidt, no evidence supports it. Collins' own timeline and interactions with Schmidt point the other way. The Post mixes a real event, Collins being unwelcome at the site today by Claire, with an unsubstantiated historical claim about the deceased Klaus Schmidt.
Well, I must add that by no means we are saying that Klaus Schmidt agreed with
Nope, not saying that at
what
all.
is the name of the author?
Andrew Collins.
Andrew
Yep.
Collins. By no means we
Nope.
are saying he agreed with him, as he didn't agree with Graham Hancock.
Right.
But they still discuss matters, right? And they still
Yes.
have conversations. So
Yes. That's the thing. And, you know, look, guys, I mean, you're kind of doing this to yourselves, you know? When you attack, I know you don't like the word, Ricardo, independent researcher, and you get an independent researcher in there, myself, asking you for evidence of these claims, why don't you just provide the evidence? Why do you start with insulting me? Why do you go there first? That's just not the way humans interact, y'all. It's not decent and it's not nice. And if I found out that Ricardo invoked a dead man to try to insult somebody because he didn't like his work, I would leave the Institute of Natural Philosophy, y'all. After I went and got a hold of his ass and like beat him up for tricking me for all this time, you know, because I can read character, and that's the
you
other thing.
try.
You do. Y'all try. This man's a beast. Come at me, you got to go through him first. Those glasses are just camouflage.
Oh, they came off.
Right. That's exactly it. But yeah, in the good spirit you're trying to wrap us up towards there, it is true, y'all. I mean, we're only here because you guys, you know, at least the ones involved in this post, and I showed the way you speak to me, right? Okay, don't do that. And I won't have to sit here and show the world that you're all lying, right? Because that's what just happened, in case you didn't notice. We just proved you're lying unless you can prove otherwise. So if you've got some kind of secret evidence you're holding,
Feel
now
free to provide.
now would be the time to drop it, right? Because everything we can find tells us that you're lying to us. And it
the
tells
point
us...
here, sorry, Jason.
Yeah,
The point
go,
here
go.
is that he might come across this, or some of his associates or bodyguards may come upon this, right? And they think, why should I lower myself to answer to these people, right? The point here is not us. The point is him.
Yeah.
And if he's caught lying on this, on what else is he lying?
What
Is he
else?
an honest person? Is he the right person for the job that he's doing? Should he be fired for being as he is?
Right.
Right? And that's are the questions. So you should get worried, even one by attacking just by these people.
Here's what I
Because-
want to know, dude. What's he so scared of? Because he's got to be scared of something. He's scared. This behavior is being scared of something, man. Like, why do you yell? Dude, think about it now. Think if you're an archaeologist excavating a site, and you've got a dude who spends his life writing about the stuff you're digging about. You don't agree with it, right? You think he interprets it differently, right? What do you do? What do?
You agree
You
to
let
disagree.
the motherfucker write, don't you? You say, well, wow, the more ideas I can get on this, because look at these pillars, man, these T-shaped pillars with all these animals. Like, what is this, dude? I don't even know. Like, do you have an idea? That'd be cool.
Interpretation.
Right. At which point I can then go, well, now I don't believe in the Garden of Eden, so I'm losing you there. But up until there, that whole shit about this being constellations, that kind of checks out. Let's put a map of constellations up against it. Look at that shit. The map matches to around when we dated this place.
be a
Wow.
coincidence, but-
Could be a coincidence, or it could be a fucking star map. Like, why are they so scared of this info, man? Why? When somebody yells at you, shuts you down, and then lies on a dead man in order to try to verify the way he treats you, that motherfucker is scared of something. It's his job. It's the info. It's something. And I want to know what it is. Why is everybody so scared about Göbekli Tepe, bro? Why is it anytime somebody goes sniffing around Karen Tepe or Göbekli Tepe that, man, they just come out of the damn woodwork? Like literally banning a citizen from coming to a place because they don't like the words he writes about it. What the fuck
Okay,
is that?
we have a new piece of evidence for this. So Steve is telling that there is no official persona non grata banned list maintained by the Turkish government or archaeological authorities for visitors to Göbekli Tepe.
Oh, so Lee Claire made that up too. Shocker.
However, several fringe researchers, authors, and commentators have been heavily criticized or publicly barred from filming and conducting research at the site by lead archaeologists. So the
Right.
banning is personal, is not institutional.
Right. Right. It's not institutional. It's just Lee Claire spouting his own damn opinion because somebody has told him, I bet you, one of them officials and UNESCO and all the people involved here have told his ass, listen, we don't want the truth of this place getting out. And if any of these people come around with all these ideas that seem to check out, shut them down. That's what it seems like to me. And you got to show me something else because otherwise that's what I see is a personal vendetta. And you're not going to bring a dead man into your personal fucking vendetta without having some decent people stand up and say, excuse me, please verify, because that dead man is not here, sir. Miss CMS, good to see you. I wish you'd have been here at the beginning. You got to go back. I read a letter. We're talking about lies in archaeology, and we'll
I
really
hope
just
you are
lies
well
everywhere.
too. Thank you. And I think one of the final thoughts here is if I go to a classroom and the person that is supposed to be teaching starts defaming and talking ill of this of that person in the class, especially if he's invoking teachers that came before and saying things that they didn't said,
They didn't say.
then he's not doing his job. And if you're not doing your job, get out.
Right.
Because I'm sure there'll be good archaeologists, good
Yes.
people that
Yes.
would love to have that site and do a good job and actually enlighten us about
Yes.
their studies and their research.
Yes.
Because what is the purpose of knowing if not for teaching?
Amen. Amen. Do more. Like, do better. Why are you spending your time attacking somebody who's done more work than you on the site you run? Like, that
Step
does,
aside.
that does not look
Step
good.
aside.
Like, for real.
Let good, honest archaeologists take your place. Just
Yep.
step aside before someone makes you step aside. Because then you won't get any other side.
Yeah.
Because you'll be so low as you're trying to put yourself.
That's it.
You're doing it yourself. We're
Dude,
not doing for you. You are
Nobody
doing
can
it
respect this behavior,
yourself.
man. You can't. You can't respect this behavior. You know, it's just because when you respect it and you allow it, then that's the society you end up with. And I love all of y'all too much to let that be the society we fucking end up with. You know, everyone here, and I know you all feel the same way. And you can't do this, guys. You can't have leaders come out and this be your official stance towards people who didn't go to the same damn school you did, because that's all this boils down to, y'all. Ain't a one of y'all different from me other than where you paid your money to go to school. I went to a lot of schools. I don't bring that up all the time. I get educated on a lot. I don't bring that up because it ain't got shit to do with who I am sitting in front of you. You know, I'm a man and you're a man.
all the great minds that created the basis for what today is called science, none of them went to school.
Yeah, I know. None of them went to school, and they all loved questions. They loved being questioned. That's why the scientific method is questioning, right? And you know, y'all just got to do better when one of us comes around and says, "I've got a question." You got to answer it first of all. You don't obfuscate and insult. That's like the behavior I expect when I go to my kids' elementary school, you know. And when I'm there and they do it, I sit in the lunchroom too, and I jack back. Yeah, your mama's so fat when she backs up, her flip-flops make noise. Beep, beep, beep. Your mama's so fat she sat on the Oreo and unlocked the magic. You know, I can joke around too. But when I'm in a setting where I'm being told these are professionals in charge of the story of my past and they are to be respected and be believed, well then, damn it, I have a little bit higher standards from you. CMS, thank you for joining us, Christine. Yeah, go back, check it out. I'd love to hear your input. Thank you so very much for being here. Somebody asked, is the Discord public? It is. It is, but we need to know who you are. You can't just like come in there and like be nobody because as you see, we're all loving people who are very much invested in the story of our past and we do not have time for any BS in our private environs. So if you come in and you exhibit any BS, you're gone. It's like that easy. I'm not even setting up a way to like look at stuff. It's our decision. But other than that, bring yourself on in, come see us, come see what we're doing and share your knowledge with us. Hey, what's up, True?
If he's not looking for a future in working for the magazine People, which is where gossip belongs,
Yeah, yeah,
then he should do better, and he should know better.
yes. And at the end of the day, if you're going to be in a public position, you're going to be held to account. And that's all we're really after here is if you're going to stand in front of all of us and claim to be an expert that can be trusted, you better damn prove it in the real world. Because if you lie to me and you lie on a dead man, then I don't trust you, and no one else should either.
We can't have a person doing work about our history,
Our
and being a dishonest one.
no, no. We really can't. And the thing is too, we can't have somebody that believes in secrets, dude. We can't have that. It is public knowledge. It is all of our story, and we can't get to the best future that human beings have in front of us until we all know the truth of where we came from. And these prideful motherfuckers just need to get that in their skulls, that we're not going away, that it is all of our rights, and that we're all here to stand as equals and to learn the true beauty and true story of our past so that we can hand in hand walk together into the brightest possible future for all of humanity. And if you disagree with that notion, then bye. Seriously, fucking miss us at the Institute of Natural Philosophy, please.
Well, the day is rising where, by consequence of disregard for everything that 99% of the researchers do that are not affiliated with anything, have accumulated.
Yeah.
And because of this, information will be centered not in academia,
Right.
but in institutions like our own.
Right.
Time is coming where you won't go to academia for answers.
No.
You won't go to academia for research. And
No.
that's a shame because there is so many good archaeologists, so many good researchers belonging to this sphere of what they call the doctors and so forth,
The expert
that
class.
deserve to be where they are. And they have taught us, and they gave us the papers, and they gave us the basis for all we can speculate on, and we are doing exactly what they are doing, is
Yes.
speculated on,
Yes.
right? Because you can't go to Göbekli Tepe, look at the pillar, and have the truth.
Right.
It doesn't exist
Right.
unless you find the time machine.
Right.
And if you have a time machine, you have to be lucky enough not to find a subject that is behaving as Lee is behaving, which will mislead you. You have to find an honest person to tell you what that is.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. I think
So-
a place like that, you're going to find a Hall of Records. That's probably why they don't want you digging anymore, because they will find an explanation of what it was. It's just me speculating.
These people, I still think these people didn't need. Of course, I agree with all of records in many different situations, but in these big cases, the Hall of Records is the site itself.
It is precisely that. That's why it was buried.
Because it's made to last.
Yes.
Right? In this
Yes.
particular case is very intriguing because they buried it on purpose,
Yes.
which is highly strange to me. So, and another point is Göbekli Tepe is like 10% of that site. There are
Yeah.
dozens
So
of
much
other
more.
circles like that on that valley that they
Yep.
don't want to dig,
Yep.
so to keep them preserved. So what is more important? The understanding of what was, or the vision of what is? Because the vision of what is doesn't tell us anything. It is the information of what was that does.
Yes.
So if we don't dig it, if we don't look at it, and don't tell me that in the 21st century, after studying it, we couldn't maintain it without letting it disappear.
Right.
Right? I live in a country where there are stone structures that are more than 6,000 years old. They are not being maintained, they're still there.
That's why they built in stone. That's
Exactly.
why they built in stone. I wonder, man, like I'd be really curious. Some of these people we're talking about that work at Göbekli Tepe, like I want to pick their brain. Like when you look at a pillar with all these animals on it, like what do they think? Like what do they think? I mean, when a guy comes around like Andrew Collins and he says, well, this to me says signs of shamanic orientation. Well, we know every culture around the world is pretty much, preceded from some sort of shamanic interactions in the early beginnings, right? So that's not far out of left field. And he looks at those, you look at those animals and you can like match them up with constellations in the star. That's pretty curious and interesting. It doesn't mean it's the fact, but it's very curious and it actually matches, when you look at the data. So I'm like curious, what are these people are so mad at all these theories. What do they think? Like you never hear one of them at all go, here's what I think was happening at Göbekli Tepe. They don't.
No, because they have to read it from a book.
I know.
And the problem with Göbekli Tepe is there are no books because it was
Right.
found very recently.
And so what's the sense of getting mad at people that are writing books on it? Unless you're afraid of something and have something to hide.
But the thing is, it must certainly has reference to constellations. It
Most
must
certainly.
certainly have
Most certainly.
reference to all the aspects that have been pointed.
Yes.
And you cannot identify the whole by looking at one brick.
Right.
You have to look at the whole building because every brick has a significance, every shape has a meaning.
Mhm.
So the more interpretations there are, the more chances we are to get closer to what it was. Not that we'll ever get to what it was really, but at least some of it can be disclosure, some of it can
Yes.
be understood, some of it can
Yes.
be interpreted, right?
Yes.
Because it's a site that has no certainties at all.
I know. And that's why it's just so crazy when they get on you like old Reed Farmer was. You don't know anything about the research. Like, what the fuck do you know about Göbekli Tepe, man? Like, let's hear it.
The
'Cause
same
I got
he does.
nothing. Fucking nothing. And that's why
Oh,
they're
we
mad.
found a pottery that is from this age. Great.
That's why they're so mad at these people that do all this work, man, and look at this stuff and line it up to images in the sky and old myths. They are so mad because these people are doing so much intellectual work, rigorous work, even if you think it's fucking fantasy. They are rigorous about it, right? They are doing real intellectual work. And these guys are mad because they don't have anything else to offer. They can't argue back. They can't go, well, actually, it wasn't this because it's this. They cannot do that. That is why they yell at you and tell you to get out of my sight.
Yeah,
Right?
and they live in this obsession that it's the oldest site known to man. No, it isn't.
Right.
It's the oldest site known to the masses, which
Yeah.
is very different.
Very different.
Because there are
I've-
sites,
I've found
there
shit
are
older than it
sites-
myself, man.
there are sites with more than 12,000 years.
Right.
There are sites and oral traditions that last at least 2 ice ages, my friends.
Right.
So can we prove any of this? No, we cannot. But should we trust the people that are passing this information? Well, if they are trying to be honest and just bring it up to discussion, yes.
Yes.
If they are saying this is an absolute truth, then no.
Yep.
Because if there are places that are 12,000 years, what denies us to have places that are 40,000, 150,000? How far back can we get?
Right.
Right?
Right.
So you cannot tell me that you have 3 pieces of a million pieces puzzle and I got it. I have the solution. I found it. This is what it is. You have no idea what is on the pieces you don't have. No idea at all.
Right.
It might even appear a phrase that's saying you are completely wrong.
Right.
None of this is real.
Right.
Right? Because you only have small pieces, right? It's like that expression. We are just like trying to describe a beach by a single grain of sand.
Exactly. Exactly. You remind me, Ricardo, when you're talking about their interpretation of my pottery shard, right? Like, you could say the same thing as you can about Göbekli Tepe, guys. I've got a pottery shard that I found at the site of Mabilla, and it's got on it a script. It's definitively a script. I've, photographed it, analyzed it, and you can probably see it here, right? There's a definitive script on there. The lighting is shit. There it is. Hang on. Let's do this. Okay, now, what can I tell
Do you have a bit of chalk? It will bring it right up.
Yeah. Okay, now and you can see this lettering over here.
Yeah.
Now, what can I tell about this pottery shard with its black chars from the Battle of Mabilla and all of that? Okay, I can tell somebody knew something about writing. I don't know what language it is. I can't say for sure this was native. I can't say for sure who wrote this, but I can say for sure that it's writing, okay? Now, that is pretty much all anybody can tell me about a pillar at Göbekli Tepe, okay? Because there's a bunch of shit on it that nobody speaks the language precisely. Nobody knows if it's images, what it's trying to convey, but you know for certain it's there, okay? Now, if Andrew Collins decides to come take my pottery shard, right, and run his mind through it and look at all kinds of different alphabets
Makes
and
a novel out of it.
comes up with a novel about what this means and what it is, and he puts it out and he says, here's my interpretation, okay? Guys, what should I do as a person who doesn't know what this is, right? Who doesn't know where the writing came from? Well, if Andrew comes to me, oh, thank you.
I'll
Shit.
take it into consideration.
Can I read this? You sure? You don't mind? That's exactly what I would do, was let me please see what it is you think is going on here, because I'm kind of at a loss. And if any archaeologist excavating Göbekli Tepe can stand up and tell me that he's not at a loss and that he knows what it means, then I'm all ears. Until then, quit shutting folks down that want to do work, that you don't want to do or can't.
So basically,
We're at an hour. Are we done?
Yeah, we're done.
Are we done with this? I'm ready to get on with more actual things. I think we have done our reporting due diligence.
The people have spoken.
Institute of Natural Philosophy, folks, you can count on us to rigorously do reporting on all of those who
And
gatekeep
notice,
knowledge of our
I don't
past.
even know who Andrew Collins is. So
I know.
This is not
I know.
about him.
It's not. It's not. It's not about us. It's not at all. It's about principle. And we read our letter. Go back and watch
It's
the
the
letter.
second or third time that sir, that probably doesn't deserve that term, has used incorrect language, unverified statements, instead of teaching.
Right. Coming on there making fun of
Make
hardworking,
posts,
earnest
show
young
pictures,
ladies.
talk about what you found.
Yeah, talk
show
about your
us
work.
people at work. Do what an archaeologist should do.
No shit. Look at my X page if you need some examples, okay? If you need some examples on what somebody who's interesting and passing on knowledge for free does to people, I put years of examples of how you do that behind me. So please go have a look and then get back with me. You can find us at the Institute of Natural Philosophy. If you too are an independent researcher, author, activist, artist, and you feel you have information that is important to the whole, come find us at the Institute for Natural Philosophy, because we want to talk to you. We mean it, y'all. We mean it when we say our best future requires the truth of our past, and we will continue to do our part to diligently bring that best future about. Thank you, Ricardo.
Thank you.
We're going to get back together later tonight, guys. We're going to start reading Ricardo's book that he has written, and we're going to switch up the DeSoto readings a little bit, start bringing in Ricardo's work, because that's what we do. We celebrate each other's work.
It's in tune with this because the book is basically a critique to assumptions that are not facts.
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun conversation, and we can get off all this reporting about negative people that lie to us. Leave dead people alone if you don't want my attention. That's all I have to say to you. No. Were you in the mortuary last night? I saw you. Bust you. Is that some Mason shit? What is that? On that note, we will see you guys this evening for a reading of Ricardo's work and some philosophical discussions about the nature of reality and this world we all call home. Till then, my friends, let's all stand together, hands in hand. Let's walk this thing to where it belongs.
It is published, Catman Plan. Yeah, I'm revising it because I wrote it more than 15 years ago, and my English was even worse than it is now. So I'm revising it.
Oh, thanks. Are you Thoth the Atlantean? That picture looks familiar. Are you Thoth on X?
Who?
Scribd Jehuti?
I can't see that.
That
Oh,
little
I see
picture?
it now.
That looks like the picture that there's an account on X that I follow called Thoth the Atlantean that does really excellent posts on all kinds of mythology, everything. Anyway, if you're not, I still thank you very much for checking it out.
And if you like the words, clip that part that Jason read and put it out there.
We're going to make shorts. That's the thing. As soon as we're done here, I'm going to spend my afternoon and we're going to clip up shorts of the readings and all of this, and we're going to put it out there for everybody to consider. And if you can correct us, please, as always, do so at the editorial desk for Institute of Natural Philosophy. You ready to take a break, bro?
Yeah. Till
All right,
next time.
everybody in the audience. We'll see you
We'll
guys
see you
later
soon.
tonight. Bye.
Thank you.